Why hello there, buddy friend chum. What brings you to this corner of the internet? You're looking for some sweet dank Doki content? Well, depending on how much you know, you might not want to watch this video yet. Now, if you're blind to the series, or you just want to see me freak out all the strange things that can happen in this game, you don't want to watch this video. You want to look at the one that's in the description right now, or in the little sidebar thing over here somewhere. It's on the right when I make this video, but knowing YouTube, they'll probably change it at some point. Unless, of course, you're here strictly for the new Doki Plus content. In that case, continue watching. Because this is one of those games where once you know and see things, you can't unknow and unsee them. And it kinda completely changes your experience on this game. So yeah, this was just my last warning to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, there's a lot of stuff to get through here, but I'm going to try and edit this video in such a way that if you've only seen my videos before, you'll only see things that you've not seen before. This really is kind of one final hurrah, I suppose, for Doki. Side stories will be a completely separate video. All ready? All good? Then here we go. Oh hey! I didn't see you there. I was, changing a light bulb. What's that? Doki Literature Club Plus is out? The updated version to the game that opened my Pandora's box of emotions and I've not been the same since? The game I made a reaction video to that's had the most views and likes of any video I've made in the last half a decade? Oh well. Guess I'm playing Doki Plus! This is gonna be a really strange playthrough because we're finding all kinds of things in a very strange order. Because I don't think I was supposed to find this yet, and I kind of found it by accident. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, we've done something that makes the game boot up like it's a computer now instead of like a game, which is kind of strange. And so it's like computerception. We're in like a computer inside of a computer inside a computer. Or you could call it a virtual machine. We've got the music player, which I'm assuming is going to fill up later. We've got settings, which that's pretty obvious stuff. We've got the side stories, which I was hoping I was going to be able to do first, but apparently that's not going to happen now. So we're going to have to play through the game first to find things. There's the game there. We don't want to run that just yet because, of course, the old game file's here. We've already found a few things, though these folders don't seem to do anything, which I find interesting. Like, there's lots of numbered folders, but they don't have anything inside them. Whoa, oh my god. We haven't even got into the game yet, and we're finding Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg, and with no context at the moment. What the hell? This sounds like it's talking about a set of passwords. This is all speculation at the moment. We don't have much context here. This is me literally looking at some of this stuff for the first time. I mean, on the old game, you would literally go into your PC's system folder and into things like the game folder and the character files and the saves and stuff like that. Speaking of which, characters. In the old game, you found all sorts of strange things inside these folders. Sorry, for the files, when you decoded them, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing now since we've kind of got an operating system inside the operating system here. This thing right here was the big thing we found. This looks like a cheat sheet for the poems, because a big thing on this game is you write poems to make certain characters happy. I need to make a note of this cheat sheet because we're gonna need this. This is such a freaking weird LP already. Like, I feel like I have to make like a research folder and put everything in the research folder and come back to it. I pity you console players, that's all I can say. Right, no more procrastinating, I guess. Here we go. I try to get out, but they pull me back in. Please enter your name. So the last time we did this, we put in Bob, but I suppose we'll be a bit more brave this time. I'm back again, hello. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Skay. I'm onto you. I'm onto you, Monica! Yeah, your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sorry, what? Sorry, is that a typo? Is that a typo? Oh! Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Skay, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And now is when we're going to do our first save. Because I have a plan, chat. And this plan will make sense later. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favourite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. I would never normally suggest you use something like this, especially if it's a blind playthrough. I think you should play this blind on your first playthrough, but because this is not my first Doki, we're bringing out the cheat sheet. I'm more here to see what's new, and also try and get the good ending because I never did it on the old game. There is a good ending that you can get in this game, but the only way to do it is through some clever use of saving at certain points and going back. Let's go with Yuri first, but I've got to find a word from the list. This is the unfortunate part. Determination, what the hell? Scars is a Sayori word, interesting. So that could be, I suppose, a metaphor for her past and personal shit she doesn't really talk about. As far as I understand the characters, Yuri's the most likely to use big fancy words. Why yes, Yuri, I am too an intellectual. Contamination? Got a feeling that's going to be a Yuri word. Yep. Melancholy. That's either a Sayori word or a Yuri word. Yep. Sayori and Monica are having a cheerleading conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was always waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. This is where it branches off depending on which poem you crafted for which character. Different things happen, but anyway. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah! Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But it only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have two copies of the same book. Well, I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, and that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Oh, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison, and while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of... It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Skay? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kind of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. And suddenly when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. This is interesting to me because I've technically only done like 2 playthroughs of the original game, so I'm now seeing a bunch of dialogue I've never seen before. I never realised that she's always had the horror book. I thought she only had the horror book when you, when things get weird, let's just say. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologise. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I started talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it again. You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. Chat calling me adorable, how dare you? How dare you, chat? Did I just say how dare... God...
I'm gonna clip that one for later.
It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad feeling. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realise that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really do apologise a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. I feel like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a moment. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. I just noticed something about the way she's posed. She has one hand holding the book and the other one's doing that anime thing almost of like, oh my heart, like crossed over herself. But his eyes are totally just looking at her face. Yeah, totally. But anyway.
It's your eyes looking anyway, not his.
God damn it! I just got owned by Doki. Anyway. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a little silly thought, but the main character kinda reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. This is... How to put this into words? The first time I played this game, I was like just cringing the whole time at the dialogue and everything, because there's a lot of dating sim tropes where you put an excessive amount of effort into trying understanding the character inside and out to try and get like the best ending with them. And this game very much repeats that whole anime dating sim trope of like, I'm not just gonna like you, I'm gonna know everything about you, friend. That's not creepy. Nope. Nope. But anyway, I see. You remain silent for a moment. But Skay, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. But wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. Ah! What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone! I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Ah. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not... It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into the bag. By the way, did you remember to write the poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers on a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Whose poem should I read first? So according to this strategy that we're doing, I need to keep giving Yuri lots of attention. So that means talking to her first. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Eh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. But... Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, but okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical in new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognise in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they form-fit the two together. The end result is both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanour totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing, even a single poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologising to herself, to me, or to Natsuki, or all three. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. Just a little bit of proof, though, that I know way too much about bloody Doki Doki, or at least the old game. Yuri's whole thing is... I imagine she's had some kind of hyperactivity early on in her life, and she got like told off for being like disruptive and like super enthusiastic about everything, so now everything she does is very closed down, nervous and shy because she's worried about offending people with everything and anything she does. And her style of writing is... the way she writes is in such a complicated way that it's like trying to read her poems and understand them is almost like you're decoding a puzzle. I mean, I'll give a really simple example. You can get things in poems where they might say something like, oh, hot as hell, as a metaphor or something like that. She does that sort of thing, but like way more complicated. It's a combination of the way she likes to write, and it's almost like a test that she's playing of like, she's unsubconscious, well, she might be saying it secretly, but she's just kind of saying in the way she writes, I love writing and reading to death. Do you love writing and reading to death? Then please try and decode what I'm trying to say with my words. Because that's how I will test you, and then I will probably be less nervous around you. That's how I interpret Yuri. Whether or not chat will agree with me on that, I don't know, but... Have I been a complete lore nerd yet? Because there's going to be a lot more of this. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of the hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathe in. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Though I admit, I've forgotten the meanings of the poems. I would have to look them up again. I sounded so intelligent one minute and then the next minute I'm like, and then it's all gone, yeah. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read scripts very often. Actually, I think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easier to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Skay. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I'll probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. Ah. You know... was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Skay. Ah, me too. Who should I read poem next? Monica next, I suppose? Hi, Skay. Having a good time so far? Yep. Great job, Skay. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in more effort. Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism, unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to deriving their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyse all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near their level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. You just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kind of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way that everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Hole in Wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbour, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know, it wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I read blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late, my retina's already scorched with the permanent copy of a meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright, it was too deep, stretching forever into everything, a whole infinite choices. I realise now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. Or to take the spin off of this poem, this is basically Monica confessing to her activating her third eye powers and realising she's in a video game. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. I suppose we'll be mean to Natsuki this time, and then we'll be nice to her next time. Wow. Skay, your poem is really bad. That was something I thought Natsuki was going to say, but okay. Eh? It's fine, it's fine. It's your first time. Besides, I'm really happy that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it, but it doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Skay, deep down you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. That is also the most Sayori thing to do ever, come to think of it. It's like, this is garbage, but you tried, yay! Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. She is the person who would give you a gold star. Even if you turned up to like some show with like this crappy thing you made and you were like really mad or something the whole time, she'd just be like, it's okay friend, you showed up anyway. Gold star. And I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. How to sum up Sayori's poem writing style? You know what? I suppose the phrase "you tried" pretty much sums up Sayori's writing style pretty well as well. Because it's like she tries to do more deep stuff with her poem writing, I think, but she doesn't have any of the experience that Yuri has. So it's more like, I suppose, basic level stuff. It's messy. It's maybe not the deepest thing in the world, but it's full of "yay, you tried." Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sorry, this is just a guess, but did you wait until morning to write this? No? Just a little bit? You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast! Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. Yeah. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah, but next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. ... Eh? Skay, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We will start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. We're sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Which we each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Now, Natsuki's writing style. Imagine Sayori, but she doesn't care. She just kind of says what she wants. And that's pretty much Natsuki's style of poem writing. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Yeah. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing styles wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. I like this. Liking this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about writing simple is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realised. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humour her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me, so of course that's going to be... We have to stick to the plan, unfortunately. Sorry, Pinkhead. Natsuki. You're right, I liked your poem. See? Well, wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. And that's not what happened at all. You wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri. You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, that's... But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to... You know what? I'm going to do that. It will spare me from having to look at your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumbles up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. Natsuki, she really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at the desk. I gently approach her and sit on an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri. How could anyone have not gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, AKATheSKay, you're too kind. I think to have you be part of the club now. Yeah, it's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. So, What thing did Natsuki say? Oh, never mind that. I'm going to make some tea. So, do I have to write another perfect poem?
Most likely, yes.
Oh god, this is the time-consuming part. I mean, I'm 95% sure it's going to be the most fancy word there every single time, but... You can never be too sure. Full disclosure though, I am never doing this again. Oh man. This is a one-time thing. Wait, intellectual was right there. I remember that from last time, duh. Hey Yuri. I suddenly noticed that Yuri is reading a different book from the one we've been reading together. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No. I was just kind of waiting for you. If that's the case, why don't we go ahead and get started? Yes, let's. Actually, I have a request. Do you mind if I make some tea first? No at all. Thanks very much. If there's one thing that can make my reading time here any better, it's a nice cup of tea. And to mention for yourself as well. Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelves, the kind with a filter inside. Can you hold this for a second? Sure. Yuri hands me a water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this into the teacher's desk and then we can get some water. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts her speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? Thanks, I'll be right back. I might as well walk with you. Yeah, why not? Shall we go then? Yeah. Where are you two off to? We're just... Yuri was going to make some tea, so I suddenly realised how weird it sounds to explain this to Monika. We're just filling the water pitcher. Okay. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. That's kind of a one-person job, isn't it? That's... Monika, please mind your own business for once. Or do you want me to tell... Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with help involve Skay? I can't even speak, what the hell? Or do you want me to tell... Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with helping... What? That? Why is that so hard for me to say? Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with helping involve Skay in club activities? My mouth gapes. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Then let's go, Skay. That's... I mean, scenes like that are probably a reason why Monika messes with Yuri's heads as much as she does. Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri. Something about the way she said that. It made me so irritated. What's wrong with me? No, Yuri. I think you did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's also not right for Monika to judge people like that. Skay, how come when I do something bad, you're being nice to me? Because nothing that you do is as bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect. We have emotions and we can't always hide them away. But you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane. Ah, no. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate someone for having emotions. What kind of friend would do that? As a tsundere, I now hate this choice of the starting path that I've taken, but we're going to keep going because we have to follow the plan. Friend, you say? Yuri lifts her head. Skay, I really like being friends with you. Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you too. I feel kind of awkward saying something like that, but I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway, yeah. Shall we go? Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom. Skay, do you like oolong tea? Yeah. Anything is fine. Very well. Yuri sets the temperature of the kettle to 200 degrees. Now it's time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything. In that case, you'll only be even more impressed. Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea leaves. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now. Is that so? I was letting it show. And you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, and I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. It turns out it's not very hard for me to do, when it's you who's around anyway. That's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me, Skay. It's very endearing. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I wish Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. Skay, I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Why is that? It's a little bit easier on my back. No comment. No obvious comments. I can read with my back against the wall rather than bending over at my desk. Sorry, I didn't realise. No worries. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? I wonder why that is. It's mostly likely because your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading? Yes! I have terrible reading posture. So that's why we should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieve the book from my bag. I have some chocolates as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I help keep hidden from Sayori's. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it since it will go well with the tea. Yuri and I then sit against the wall, teacups at our sides. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as at last time, each holding one half of the book. Except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Your teacup. Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a posture that makes it even harder to focus, because now I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression, and I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I finally manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want. That's okay, I won't take any. Are you sure? Well, if I touch it, then it might get smudges on the pages. You're right. I didn't even think of that. My bad. No need to apologise. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so that I don't have any harder of a time reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Now this would be a really nasty place to have a new jump scare. I hope they don't do that. Well, in that case, Yuri is already focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy bar and pop it in my mouth. Then I take another chocolate, and then I hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips, as if the situation was completely natural. But that means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Eh? Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. Skay? Sorry. I guess I shouldn't have done that. That's... well, we were just hoping. That's something that friends do. We got friend zone, boys. We're freaking done. Right? I mean, not really in this kind of context, but yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, then you don't need to stop or anything. I see. The situation has got really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can tell just by her expression that even she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers. But this time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. I notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her breaths. I raise my arm. That was a good place that I could have possibly mispronounced that, but thankfully I didn't. Thank you, brain. Good job. I raise my arm. Like before, Yuri parts her lips. But it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel a hot breath on my fingers. Okay, everyone! She's butting in again. What? Yuri jumps back. It's time to share poems. Skay, you can help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. The spell was abruptly broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yeah. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much of a word between us. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. Whose poems do I read first? Gotta go Yuri again! We're gonna go over this strategy. We'll go with the character we're trying to impress, and then we'll go with Monica afterwards all the time. Let's see what you've written for today. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? Skay, this one might be even better than yesterday's. How did you even pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday I was telling you the kind of techniques we're practicing. Maybe that's why you did a good job explaining. I really wanted to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hands appear sweaty. I'm not used to this. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine, take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offer that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. It probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing, it just makes me really happy. Are you saying you've never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself, and besides, people would just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh. Even your close friends? Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, do you want to share the poem you wrote today? Yeah, I do. If it's for you. Again! Metaphors and imagery all over the place. The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scattering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity. The raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlonian conditioning. I slice the bread and I feed myself again. Now replace the raccoon with addictive urges and replace the bread with an arm. Poor Yuri. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. Though she's still kind of trying to hide it as well through the language, I suppose. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style, using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. But well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. See, I wasn't entirely sure if she's always cut herself, but that dialogue right there, to me at least, that dialogue right there is confirmation. I always thought it was like, oh, it's something she does because she's a bit crazy later on, but no, it's something she's always done. Let's continue, because there's a lot to get through. Oh man, this first run's is the one that's gonna not have any sped up parts as well, though. So I suppose it will just feel extra long this time. But anyway, it's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Why do you keep them to yourself? But because they're embarrassing, and people would make fun of me. Don't you have anything like that, Skay? Well, yeah, I guess I do. I feel like everyone has a little something like that. The best we can do is respect each other and our individualities, even if it's difficult sometimes and some things make us uncomfortable. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad you're a good listener. You're good at a lot of things. Writing, listening. There really aren't many people like you, Skay. That's exaggerating a little bit. It's just how I feel. I never thought I would feel so comfortable sharing my writing, but now I always feel like I look forward to it. It's just a really nice feeling, and you're to thank for that. It's nothing really. Yuri smiles sincerely at me. For just a moment, her timidness seems to disappear. Monica, are you gonna be weird, Monica, or is it too early? Hi again, Skay. How's the writing going? Alright, I guess. I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy that you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. Haha, I wouldn't count on that. You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today? Sure, here you go. I'll give my poem to Monica. Alright, this one's good. It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read. Just wondering, but have you been finding inspiration by Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented. Yeah, totally. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen. I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside her. Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what's going on in that head of hers? I hope you don't mean that in a bad way. No, of course not. It just means that I wish she didn't keep so much to herself. But still, defending her like that, you must be pretty into her. Eh? You completely misunderstood. Haha, calm down, I'm kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a boyfriend. Wait, really? Yeah, a fictional one anyway. Monica kind of whispers that last part to me. It's just a hunch, but well, there's not really anything going wrong. Well, there's not really anything wrong with that. Oh well, I know. I was just saying. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. Alright, let's take a look. Save me. The colours, they won't stop. bright, beautiful colours, flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms, squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent, like playing a chalkboard on a turntable, like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust, an endless poem of meaningless. Load me. She's sentient. She knows she's in a game, and you can see here, sine, cosine, tangent. She can almost quite literally see the code. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention as well, red, green, blue, those are the colours that everything in computer TV monitors, computers and everything, that's the colours that they work in. RGB, red, green, blue. And if you went about your normal day just like minding your own business and everything, and then suddenly your brain was just like overloaded with all this information at once, it wouldn't. I imagine it would not be a nice feeling. To put it in a slightly strange way, when I was a bit younger and more naive, I was always pondering to myself, why aren't people more smart? Why isn't there some big drive for somebody to basically try and learn everything that there is possibly to ever know about the world, the universe, human beings, animals, you name it? And I think I understand why. In a silly way, Doki Doki actually partly made me realise why as well. It's because if you gave a human being basically all the knowledge in the universe, you'd go crazy. If you knew everything there is to possibly know, you would go crazy from the amount of information going into your brain. The entire existence would mean everything and nothing. You wouldn't know what to do. You'd just be paralysed by, in Monica's own words, infinite choices. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it. No, I never said that. It's just kind of a thing I've never really seen before, I guess. I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. I see. It's still hard for me to tell what it's about, though. Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know what might change, when you might change your mind, or when something unexpected might happen. Wait, is this TP even about writing? What am I even talking about? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Tiny bit, I suppose. What should I write for parents next? Sayori time. She's like, I hate it, but you tried. Oh, I like this one, Skate. Oh, she likes this one, okay. There's some nice feelings in it. I'm glad. So it's at least better than yesterday's. Uh-huh. Maybe I'm getting better at this then. Well, I'm not very good at figuring out if poems are good or bad, but that's why I just go by my heart. If it makes me feel things, then it must be a good poem. I'm not sure that's exactly how it works. Then again, I guess conveying feelings is a pretty important part of this whole thing. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of writing you'd like in the first place. Yeah, me neither. Ugh. Why don't you at least try giving it some thought? Oh, you want to write something for me? That's so sweet. Yeah, right. But you're always thinking about other people. You need to think about yourself once in a while. If you don't, you might end up getting hurt at some point. Eh? Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I'll just keep it in mind. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see. I guess I like happy poems. Well, sometimes I like sad poems too. Sometimes it's a little of both. There's a word for that, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Bittersweet. Yeah. I like things that are happy and things that are sad. Happy and sad? I can't see you liking something sad, sorry. Well, I like happy the most. But sometimes you have the little rain. Sometimes when you have a little rain cloud in your head, a sad poem can help give the rain cloud a little hug. and make a nice happy rainbow. Sayori, that's unexpectedly poetic. Eh? It is? Thanks, Skay. I should go write that down then. I can read my poem now, okay? So you can read my poem now, okay? Oh, this frickin' poem. Bottles I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine all rubbing together like a little bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly, but there's no time to waste. I pull it in a bottle to keep it safe, and I put the bottle on the shelf of all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in a bottle, all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friends feel a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams, friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally all done, I open up and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf, one after the other, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle, but every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something, but all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Depression! But not paying attention to your depression because you're so intent on making sure everyone else is happy and having a wonderful day. Yay! Holy crap. Sayori, did you really write this? Of course I did. Didn't I tell you yesterday I was going to write the best poem ever? Yeah, but I mean, I didn't expect something like this coming from you. Monica taught me a whole lot. And I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. I see that. It's almost kind of creepy. Creepy? Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm so used to you being so cheerful. Well, never mind. I'm thinking hard about it. The point is, it came out good, and you should be proud of it. Ah, thanks. I feel like I was meant to express myself this way. It even helps me understand my own feelings a little bit better. Writing is like magic. You've gotten pretty passionate about this, huh? I hope you keep it up. Yeah, writing's the best. I'm gonna keep writing till I die. Oh, that has no meaning to it. Ah, don't get ahead of yourself. No, you made it worse. You made it worse. Sayori's always had the habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. I wonder if this is one of those times, but seeing the passion in her eyes makes it hard for me to be pessimistic. Which poem should I read next? Natsuki! Well, I can admit that it's better than the last one. It's nice to see that you're putting in some effort. That's good. But I still don't like this at all. It's trying too hard to be serious. Eh? What do you mean by that? Poems don't need to be all deep sounding to express something. It's going to sound just like you're forcing it unless you really don't suck at it. Honestly, don't bother trying to write poems like this until you're on Yuri's level. Natsuki stops short all of a sudden. Don't tell me... Eh? You're not just trying to impress Yuri, are you? What are you talking about? And keep your voice down. You know Yuri would love this kind of angsty... Just because she's a talented writer doesn't mean... I mean... Looks like I'm in trouble. I somehow struck a nerve, though what I did is beyond me. I am so done with you. Natsuki shoves the poem I handed her back over to me. Take your stupid poem. If you wrote it for someone else, just don't show it to me. Ouch. This is what I get for letting a younger girl step into my business. Unless I was a mind reader, I was destined to be in a world of pain from the start. At least Natsuki wasn't really the girl I was trying to impress in the first place. Seems legit. Now it feels like I'm the only one behaving out of the ordinary. But there's nothing I can do besides wait for Monica. Why does it feel like I'm being watched? I glance around the room. Suddenly I notice Yuri peering at me from over a book. But she looks away just as quickly with a flustered look on her face. I realise that she won't get away. I realise that she won't get anywhere like this. I've never really seen Yuri approach anyone or start a conversation on her own accord, so I have no choice but to approach her myself. By now it's a little easier for me to do that. I stand up from my desk and sit in one next to her own. I didn't mean to bother you or anything. Relax, you didn't even do anything. But I could tell that you just wanted to be alone with your thoughts. Alone with my thoughts? How were you even able to tell what I was thinking like that? Well, it's something that I do a lot. So it wasn't hard for me to spot based on your posture and expression. Not that I was staring or anything. I didn't do anything creepy like that. In any case, I guess you were right. I'm sorry if I caused you any concern. Don't apologise. Your troubles are only the concern of those willing to share in the concern. Of course, there are certainly those who find the most comfort in keeping to themselves, but if you prefer to share what's on your mind, then I would be glad to listen. It's really not that big of a deal. I was just feeling a bit uneasy about Sayori. Sayori? Yeah, she seems a little bit off today, but when I asked her about it, she didn't want to admit it to me. So I can't help but wonder if something's happened to her. Oh? That's quite romantic. Eh? Sorry. I didn't mean to say anything stupid. It's not that, I just didn't want you to misunderstand. Sayori and I have been friends for a long time, that's all. Ah, I see. Then perhaps it's unusual for her to be so submissive to you about her feelings. Or maybe I'm just reading into it a little bit too much. Skay. The world is full of meaning, often hidden deep beneath plain sight, and there are so many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you may know them. Ah. You think that there might be something behind it after all? I think that Sayori is a very complex person. Her mannerisms on the outside don't always match what may be going on inside her head, and she may not always know what she wants. I noticed her strange behaviour today too, and I also feel some concern for her. But in your case, it looked like she was fully occupying your thoughts, wasn't she? Well, I guess that was the case. Sayori, she really means a lot to you, doesn't she? I guess. But you don't need to put it that way. You're just good friends, that's all. Yuri suddenly looks deep into my eyes. Her expression is gentle and curious, as if she was searching for something. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze. Sometimes a person's mysteries are untold even to themselves. And you, as someone honest and caring, may uncover feelings you weren't aware were in you. I think that she would be a very fortunate person to have you feel that way about her. Yuri, you're giving me too much credit. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I think I'm pretty good at understanding my own feelings. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you. That's not a compliment, is it? It is what it is. Anyway, as long as we're here, why don't we do some reading? Well, as long as you're okay with it, yeah. I should be taking my mind off this whole thing anyway. ... Okay, everyone. After some time passes, Monica calls out to the club room. Why don't we share our poems now? Before I know it, everyone is back to normal. Everyone goes to retrieve the poems and I do the same. I make eye contact with Monica and she smiles at me. I wonder what she was talking about with Sayori. We have to follow the plan, sticking with the Yuri. Ugh. ... Skay. Your writing has only improved in these last few days. Every poem you show me is nothing short of spectacular. I can really feel the emotions. I'm a little envious even. I don't think it ever came to me this naturally. Yuri, that's the wrong way to put it. This never did come naturally to me, but I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after. Is that so? Yuri gently smiles to herself. This feeling, I'm so glad I got the chance to share my writing. I never thought I would feel like this. I remember you mentioning that yesterday. I can't believe you're so good at something and you'd never even shared it with anyone. It's kind of a shame. Maybe, but it's not like I've really had a choice. What do you mean? Well, Yuri smiles sadly. Skay, during lunchtime I eat by myself. Do you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I've always had some books with me. You could say I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway. But books are so full of amazing and inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with. Or people you just know you would make a really good friend. Cheerful people always put a smile on your face. Or deep thinkers and problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day. Sad, socially awkward Yuri. Screw people. I want to be surrounded by thinkers. Sad times. Super, super sad times. You know? And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all. People say that about you? I'm not a know-it-all, Skay. It's the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all those feelings. And all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understood what I was missing all this time. But I haven't really done anything. No, that's wrong. Just being patient and respectful, that's really important to me. And I'm a difficult person, Skay. I speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things. But every time, you've always treated me as just like everyone else. It's so rare that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. This is the special dialogue I think that happens when you do a bunch of poems in her style. That's what this is all about, because they do deep confession stuff with you. But that's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy. I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. I mean, I joined this club hoping I would make friends. And I would say I've had at least one success. Wouldn't you? If you put it that way, yeah. We really are friends now, aren't we? Yuri puts her head in her hands. But this time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want to show me your poem? Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you. I've never seen this poem before. Ghost Under the Light Part 2. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. In the distance, a blue-green light flickers. A long figure crosses its path, a silhouette obstructing the eerie glow. My heart pounds, the silhouette grows closer, closer. I open my umbrella, casting a shadow to shield me from the visibility, but I am too late. He steps into the streetlight. I gasp and drop my umbrella. The light flickers, my heart pounds. He raises his arm. Time stops. The only indication of movement is the amber light flickering against its outstretched arm. The only indication of movement is the amber light flickering against his outstretched arm. The flickering light is in rhythm with the pounding of my heart, teasing me for succumbing to its forbidden emotion. Have you ever heard of a ghost feeling warmth before? Giving up on understanding, I laugh. Understanding is overrated. I touch his hand, the flickering stops. Ghosts are blue-green, my heart is amber. Yuri is the ghost. Yuri is the ghost because she finds socializing with other people extremely difficult to do. And when she does do it, well, all the awkward things happen to her, so in a sense she feels more comfortable in being like a ghost. Things happen around her. She might observe it here and there, but she's not much of a participant, I guess you could call it. I know that feel, bro, from the past. It's a little sad. Finishing the poem, I start to hand it back to Yuri. But instead of taking it from me, she looks away. ... Do you dislike it? No, of course not. I just don't really know how I should respond. Despite Yuri's poems usually being cryptic, it wasn't hard to figure out what this one was about. I don't know if I should be able to explain this one. That's fine. I'll understand this one. Yuri's having an even harder time speaking than usual. Does this one mean a lot to you? Yuri nods. I'm not really good with words, but I'm happy that you shared it with me. So thank you, and I hope we keep spending time together. Despite my inability to make eye contact, I see a faint smile emerge on Yuri's lips. I once again try to hand the poem back to her, but instead Yuri gently takes my hands and pushes them back towards me. I hesitate in response to a warm touch. You can... the poem is... Once again Yuri fails to form a complete sentence. You mean I can keep it? Yuri nods. I'd love to. Again, Yuri faintly smiles as if she doesn't want me to notice. You always make me feel nice. I know I'm not good with people, but I hope that I can return the favour sometimes. Yeah, don't worry. I think you do a good job. Yuri finally turns back towards me. I guess we should move on before Monika says something, but I'm sure we can talk again later. Yeah, I'm sure we will. With that, Yuri timidly smiles at me and I return to my seat so I can put her poem away. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem. Sure. I let Monika take the poem I'm holding in my hands. ... Your style's gotten so refined, Skay. Yuri's been teaching you a lot of things, hasn't she? Well, I guess so. Yeah, I've been noticing how much you spend time with her. I think I heard her say her more words than the past couple of days than she's talked in the whole year. Not sure how you did it, but that's pretty impressive. Well, she just needs some patience and a way to talk about all the things in her head, I guess. I'm still getting the hang of it myself. You're certainly putting in a lot of effort. You must really like her. That's... It's awfully suspicious, you know. Spending time with her in the club room every day, reading that edgy novel with her. Well, I just feel bad that she has a hard time socializing. It makes me want to make sure she doesn't spend time... It makes me want to make sure she doesn't spend all her time alone. Besides, the novel isn't too bad either, you know. Alright. I get you. Just be careful, alright? I know that Yuri isn't used to opening herself up. So if something bad happens while she's vulnerable, then it could be really hard for her. Her books aren't a total escape from reality. They're just a bandage. You say that like I'm going to hurt her. Sorry, I didn't mean that. If anything, she might accidentally hurt herself. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? Alright. The lady who knows everything. Not exactly subtle there, is it? Pretty, obvious here. The lady who knows everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders Earth. The lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. And here I am, a feather. Lost adrift, the sky, victim of the currents of the wind. Day after day I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains. The last dim star glimmering... Damn it. The last dim star glimmering in the twilight sky, until one day the wind ceases to blow. I fall, and I fall, and I fall, and I fall even more, gentle as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger, the hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. You know, I feel like learning and looking for answers are the sorts of things that give life meaning. to get too philosophical or anything, but I was kind of on my mind, so that's what I wrote about. I see. I never really put much thought into it. In a way, it's almost paradoxical. Because if we have all the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint. You know, there's one thing I noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy. Are you surprised? I mean, if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have much to write about, would we? Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. I think you'd know that better than anyone. You mean one-dimensional? Oh, yeah, that. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into, but if you find other people who enjoy writing, then sharing becomes a lot more easy. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it will make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay. I think the plan for the day is we're gonna try and get through the rest of this day on Doki Doki, and then we're gonna call it a day because the reading is quite intense. I'm impressed with myself though. I'm most impressed with myself that I've managed to mostly get through this without too much hiccups. Unfortunately, it's not Natsuki's turn to be happy yet. ... It's nice, I guess. Come on, I can already tell you don't like it. Well, you don't need to worry about what I think. After all, you wrote this for someone else, didn't you? Probably Yuri. Eh? I didn't write this for anyone specifically. Maybe. That's not really what I meant, though. But it's okay. You're making new friends just like I was hoping. That makes me really happy. And you're happy too, right? In this club? Well, oh, of course I am. Good. That's all that matters to me. Thank you, Skay. Sayori, is there something wrong? Huh? But no, nothing. I'm just a little tired today. Alright. Just tell me if you need anything. I will. Don't worry about me, okay? You can go play with everyone else now, if you insist. Yay. I'm gonna go home a little bit early today. Sayori, tell Monica I wasn't feeling well, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Before I can say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom humming to herself. Yeah, no thanks. Eh? You didn't even... Next? Now, the next part is that whole thing where you spend time with Yuri making the decorations and everything, but since we did that in another video, I'm gonna completely skip that this time for you guys. So with that in mind, now that means we need to go back in time and make the other characters happy. And this is taking far longer than I thought it was going to. Oh boy. But it's amazing you guys are still here. Thank you for joining me today. And if you want more, well, next time we go back in time to finish the rest of the job of making the rest of the cast happy. I'll see you then.